The second is qanit. Qanit, devoutly obedient to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The third is hanif, rejecting the way of polytheists and turning away from them. And the fourth, it's not a terminology, but a sentence as in not of the polytheists, because he did not commit shirk with its various types and he stayed away from the polytheists. So in totality, we understand this four thing, that these are the qualities that is required if you want to complete and perfect your tawheed. It is basically maintaining tawheed and rejecting all sorts of shirk, major, minor, and hidden. Another reference from Quran would be verses from Surah Mu'minun 57 to 60. I would like you to check those verses as well in the same regard. So basically Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala depicts our righteous ancestors' traits, the greatest of which is their abandonment of all acts and forms of polytheism, whether apparent or hidden. Hence, whoever succeeds in fulfilling these prerequisites will reach the highest degree of perfect and pure tawheed and consequently be admitted into paradise without being called to account for their deeds. We'll be taking a few more examples to understand it much better. So, in short, actualizing and perfecting Tawheed. The meaning is again to purify one's action from all kinds of shirk, bid'ah and sins. The grades, we spoke about obligatory completion and recommended completion, and we also spoke about the rewards for the same. And the attributes of those who perfect Tawheed. An Imam and guide, which is Qanit, Hanif, Ummah, and the righteous Muslims, they abandoned all acts and forms of polytheism, whether apparent or covert. Plus, those people, the 70,000, they don't seek ruqya, they don't get themselves cauterized, they don't believe in bad omen, they rely entirely on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So we are just collecting the attributes of those who perfect their tawheed. And these are stages actually, and you cannot expect it to happen overnight. Like as I said, first we have to focus on our obligatory, then we focus on our sunnahs, then we focus on our voluntary, then we abstain from the sins, then we abstain from the makruh. And that is where we will, inshallah, bi'idhnillah, slowly and eventually achieve that status that we are looking for. Yesterday we did a part of as well. Since Tawheed and Shirk are contradictory, it is very important to know Tawheed, and it is also very important to know what is Shirk. As we discussed the virtues of Tawheed, similarly, what does Shirk leads to? There are only 5 points here as well to understand what happens and why should we be afraid of shirk, major, minor, hidden, anything. Number one is shirk is unforgivable. Reference Surah 4, ayah number 48. Indeed, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not forgive association with him, but he forgives what is less than that for whom he wills. In order to warn people from any acts of polytheism, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala stresses that he will never grant pardon to those who assign partners to him and remain so till death. On the contrary, out of his endless bounty and grace, he forgives the sin of those whom he wills, with the exception of shirk. Shirk linguistically means to make equal, sharik karna. Shirk in the Sharia means setting a partner with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in what is exclusively for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's why fear of shirk will become obligatory on all of us. Tawheed is the greatest blessings that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bestow on his servant, and therefore one must be very cautious. So shirk is unforgivable. Number 2, Imam of Tawheed feared shirk. Who is the Imam of Tawheed? Ibrahim alayhi salam. Verse Surah 14, verse 35. And keep me and my sons away from worshipping idols. We discussed about this yesterday.
Dial by device only. It is a dial with device only.
All right. Asya, you have raised your hand. Is there anything I can help you with? Please pull your head down. Okay. There are amazing duas that helps us to keep our heart steadfast. Ya muqallib qulub thabbit qalbi ala dinak. I'm sure many of you know about this. Let's keep on repeating consciously and make dua that may Allah Ta'ala give us the istiqamah, and he's the controller of the hearts, and may he make our hearts steadfast in his religion. Ameen ya Rab. The third point is Riya. Riya, show off. This is Shirk al-Asghar. Riya, though it is a minor shirk, but it is the most feared sin upon the righteous people because it is hidden. This is hidden. The hadith says, the thing that I fear most for you all is the minor shirk, Riya, showing off. Why is it so feared? The Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said, he warned Muslims not to perform devotional acts in order to show off or to get people's admiration. He deemed showing off as an act of minor shirk, which would render all acts of worship contaminated with null and void. It is considered as a black ant on a black stone in black night. Imagine, it has been explained like that. एक काली चूटी काले पत्थर पे काली रात में आपको दिखाई नहीं देगी, उसी तरीके से आपके अमल के अंदर कब रिया आ जाएगी आपको दिखाई नहीं देगी. And this is one of the things we have to be very, very careful of. May Allah protect us. This hadith warns the believers against the perpetration of minor shirk, whereas the former two verses warn against approaching act of major shirk. Thus, the present discussion will be on these two main categories of polytheism, which is riya, show off. Somebody is asking me about the minor shirk. Yes, now we are coming to that. Riya is a minor shirk and it nullifies the deed that is contaminated with it, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not accept any deed unless if it was not done sincerely and purely for his sake. Just to remind you again, you remember the two conditions of ibadah. First is sincerely for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, ikhlas. Okay, so when we say I'm doing an ibadah or a good deed of any form, it has to be done only and only for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, not to seek people's admiration or for any praises or for any person or thing. So that is where we are defying this condition of ibadah, and it goes into the minor shirk of riya. The second one condition of ibadah was that it should be on the way of sunnah, the one which Prophet Muhammad ﷺ taught us. So if these two conditions are not fulfilled, anyways, it will be null and void. Plus, you will get the sin of minor shirk as well if it goes in the riya. The Prophet feared that this sin over his companions despite their strong faith in Tawheed, because it is easy to enter into the hearts of people. Now go back again to the previous chapters, the heart, the limbs, the financial and everything, all sorts of ibadah. You see somewhere down the line in between, this particular sin or this particular shirk enters without giving any warning, and it is very, very dangerous. Imagine these people who are, subhanallah, so good and so pious, when they are scared of it. What about you and me? Why did the Prophet fear it the most? Because it is hidden and needs a very strict questioning of the motives in order to find it. It is beloved to the self, because somewhere down the line, everybody gets affected with this majorly. It is a minor shirk, and shirk is unforgivable. Imagine it's a shirk, yani that's it. It's a minor shirk and shirk is unforgivable. The first with which the fire will be set ablaze with will be three people who had done presumably good deeds but were contaminated with riya. So can you imagine how serious matter is this? then how do we cure the heart from this disease? It is considered as a disease of heart because this is a hidden stuff. It is something in your heart, and this is something which only you and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will know it. So how do we cure these diseases of the heart? We'll just discuss few points. Number one is to invoke Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to help one get rid of this dangerous sin. Of course, it is only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala who can help us to keep ourselves firm and purify us from all sorts of shirk. So invoke Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. जितना हो सके Allah से इस चीज के लिए दुआ मांगे कि Allah ta'ala आपको हर किस्म की रियाकारी, मेजर माइनर हिडन शिर्क से आपको बचाए. ये खफी शिर्क are very dangerous. Number two is to remember that the deed that one is doing will be void and worthless on the day of judgment. यानी हम जिसमें अपना टाइम, अपनी जान, अपना माल लगा रहे हैं, अनाउज़ुबिल्लाह, if it is going to be waste, वो ख्याल आपके जहन में आना चाहिए. And then आप राइट हैंड से कोई नेकी करें तो लेफ्ट को भी ना उसका पता चले. Number three is to remember that it is foolish to work for the sake of people who are poor and worthless instead of for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala the Almighty. यानी जिन लोगों को हम impress या उन लोगों को हम दिखाने जा रहे हैं, they are nothing but they are still worthless and poor just like us. The Almighty is only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Number four is to supplicate with dua that the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam taught us in this situation. Oh Allah, we seek refuge in you from taking a partner with you in the worship knowingly, and we seek your forgiveness from taking it unknowingly. These are all available in Masnoon Dua. I would again urge you sisters to memorize the Quranic and Masnoon Dua. They are very handy, and along with the translation, so you will know exactly. There are duas to increase your taqwa. There are duas to save you from shirk. There are duas to keep you firm on the religion. So learn those duas by heart it and make it a habit of continuously be in that state. So coming to number four, shirk leads to hellfire. Just to run through the previous points, shirk is unforgivable, number one. Number two, Imam of Tawheed feared shirk. Number three, Riya show off is a minor shirk and the most feared sin upon the righteous people. Number four, shirk leads to hellfire. Whoever dies while calling upon a rival god other than Allah will enter the fire. It's an hadith. The Prophet is trying, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, trying to state that if a person sets any false god as a rival to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, either by invoking or imploring such a false god for assistance and remains so until he dies, he will be doomed to the hellfire. So calling upon a rival god other than Allah is a form of major shirk. Because again, it is a matter of ibadah. We will inshallah discuss again how you can segregate major and minor shirk. And inshallah, I will give you some examples and we'll be asking you few questions so you will understand it better. So there is no escape from these kind of things. You have to keep away from direct, indirect, any form of worshipping or any form of ibadah or any form of obedience which will fall in the category of Allah, which is meant exclusively for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And among the shirk that some of this ummah have slipped into is the call of the dead seeking their help to ease pain and hardship. Clear major shirk. There is no attainment of such an except repentance and going back sincerely to Allah. Otherwise, if one dies upon calling other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, no matter if this other is an angel, a prophet, or a righteous human. Again, I repeat, even if it is an angel, because there is a sect which worships literally to an angel as well, then any Nabi, you cannot exaggerate, and any righteous human being, any Wali, any Sufi, any Baba, nothing, any dead and alive, nothing, he will be among the dwellers of hellfire eternally. This undoubtedly calls for the atmosphere of it as it voids all your good deeds and admits its perpetrator in the hellfire. Number four, shirk prevents from entering paradise. Absolutely. You see how Tawheed is again and again giving you an entry ticket to Jannah? Shirk prevents one from entering paradise. Whoever meets Allah without having associated anything with him will enter paradise, and whoever meets him having associated anything with him will enter the fire. It's a very simple formula. Please Understand this. I repeat again, whoever meets Allah without having associated anything with him will enter paradise, and whoever meets him having anything associated with him will enter the fire. So in short, if I'm supposed to just give you some definition and example between major and minor shirk, how can you grade major and minor shirk? Alrighty. Major shirk is to take a partner with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in his lordship, divinity, or his names and attributes, which is rububiyah, uluhiyah, or asma wa sifat. That is straight major shirk. Removes its perpetrators from the folds of Islam. It's not forgiven if someone dies while doing it, but if one repents from it before death, then it is forgiven and his repent is accepted. It nullifies one's deeds, and whoever dies upon doing it will stay eternally, forever in hellfire. What would be the example? Calling the dead, slaughtering for the jinn or awliya, or taking their qasam, vowing. So that is major shirk. On the contrary, the minor shirk, acts referred to as shirk in the Quran and Sunnah without reaching the degree of major shirk. Acts referred to as shirk, which is clearly stated in Quran as shirk. In Quran and in Sunnah, without reaching the degree of major shirk, what happens to them then? Does not remove its perpetrator from the folds of Islam. It is not forgiven like other sins and will be balanced with good deeds, whichever is heavier. It nullifies only the act that was contaminated with it. If one dies while doing minor shirk, if punished by Allah, will not stay in hellfire forever. It is conditional, bi'idhnillah. It depends on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He wants to forgive and then put them back in Jannah. Allahu alam, it's Allah's wish. And minor riya, show off, examples of this is minor riya is show off, swearing by other than Allah or by his life, etc. You can only swear by Allah and nothing else. So that is, in short, the definition and what happens with people who are into major shirk and minor shirk and the examples. I'll give you some more examples on the basis of rububiyah, uluhiyah, and the names and attributes. This is again, we are talking about major shirk now. When one believes that someone beside Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has some control over the creation, dominance, and ownership of this universe. The standing and very simple thing that you remember is no one knows, no one has ghaibe ilm, no one knows the unseen. That the universe has other creator besides Allah, no one has the control. And then there is also a belief of Sufism that some Sufis believe that the universe has four poles who are the souls, awliya. So these kind of things are contradicting with Tawheed al-Rububiyah, and that's why it goes under the major shirk of Rububiyah. The second category, Uluhiyah, diverting some of the worship to other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, which is again all the acts of worship, calling the dead, awliya, saints or idols to ease hardships and bring about the good and sustenance, slaughtering for the graves. It is in this section that most of the shirk happens, in the matters of uluhiyah, in the matters of worship. So that goes under the category of major shirk of uluhiyah. The third one, asma wa sifat, deriving from their idols names from the names and attributes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, like Al-Uzza from Al-Aziz and Allat from Allah. Saying that Allah has a hand like the hand of the creation, etc., would fall under the major shirk of asma wa sifat. Coming to the minor shirk, apparent and hidden. Apparent has sayings and acts, okay? Under sayings it is that, again, which I said, swearing by other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that will go under minor shirk, apparent sayings. Actions would be wearing amulets, taweez, and things like that. Hidden, under hidden of minor shirk will come showing off, riya. And the second one is seeking good reputation, sumah. So riya and sumah falls under minor shirk and are hidden. You can unmute your mics, the ones who want to attempt now. I'm asking a few examples and you have to tell me whether it is major shirk or minor shirk. This will help me to understand how did you understand it better or no. So the first one is believing that this universe has a creator besides Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Is it a major shirk or minor shirk?
Major.
Major. Why? Under which?
Rububiyah.
Exactly. All right. Very good. Slaughtering for the jinn, major or minor?
Minor.
Who said minor?
It is major and falls under uluhiyah.
It is major in the right, and it falls under uluhiyah. Okay,
Yes.
the ones who answered, give chance to others, please. All right. Wearing amulet, wearing a taweez to protect from evil eye, major or minor? Okay, somebody answer this. I repeat, wearing a taweez.
Minor.
Minor, huh? Okay, minor, apparent. Very good. Swearing by oneself or by the Prophet. Swearing by oneself or by the Prophet. Anyone? Attempt it.
Minor, apparent.
Minor. And it
Apparent.
goes apparent or hidden?
Apparent. You're
Apparent.
swearing, right?
Hidden, riya, hidden.
No. This is not riya. This is swearing. Swearing by oneself or by the Prophet. It will be minor, apparent.
Yes.
Okay. Believing that a fortune teller knows the unseen.
Major.
Major. Excellent. Under which category?
Apparent.
Under which category, major?
Rububiyah.
Very good. Rububiyah. Invoking angels.
Major.
Major. Yeah.
Major. And under which category?
Uluhiyah.
Uluhiyah.
Great. Now, saying if it was not for Allah and so, we would not have been saved. Like if you
This
say...
is correct.
Huh?
This is the right thing to say, right? I mean, it's all by the grace of Allah.
Not for Allah and so as well. Fulan as well. So?
No, shirk.
Okay, this was a tricky question. Okay, it was a tricky question. I just wanted to see if somebody's attempting or not. Okay. Any questions so far, guys? Anything you want me to repeat from what we discussed just now in actualizing Tawheed? I want this to be very, very, very clear. That's why I went a little slow and we discussed and then giving examples and things like that. Anything you didn't understand from this? You want me to repeat any part?
Nasreen, you remember when you said qualities that are required to complete your Tawheed? In that, the number points are ummah, then something third I missed.
Qanit, qanit. Ummah, qanit, and hanif.
Hanif.
This you will get in the verse, Surah 16, 120. You have entire thing in there. Ummah, qanit, and hanif, and not of the polytheist. Yeah. Surah 16, ayah 120.
Okay.
So we are clear with this?
Yes.
Okay, give me a word for this particular answer in one word. If we worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in a way that the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam didn't teach us, what is it?
Innovation, bid'ah.
Oh, very good, very good. Ibadah basically means?
We are supposed to do whatever our Prophet taught us to do.
Humility and submission.
Very good. Give me an example of bid'ah.
Gyarvi Sharif.
Okay, good, good, good.
Chaliswa.
Kol Chalisma.
Very good, very good.
Urs, Parsi.
Oh, excellent, mashallah. For any worship, we need a dash from the Quran and Sunnah.
Evidence.
Yes, we need a evidence, we need a source from Quran and Sunnah. So true and false, guys, true and false. Allah created all of us because he needed somebody to worship him?
No, false.
False.
True. True.
False.
Again, one question again, please.
True or false?
Question.
Half
No,
of them
repeat the
said,
question.
I'll repeat question. Okay.
Yeah, please.
Allah created all of us because he needed someone to worship him?
No, false.
Yes. Because the confusion is because he created us with the purpose to worship him. But now it is in the question saying he needed. So that's why it is false. Okay. Bid'ah is any act of worship which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and his messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam did not teach us. True or false?
True.
True.
Okay. As long as our hearts are sincere, we can worship Allah in any way that we like.
False.
False.
Right. Major sins are more dangerous than bid'ah?
Yes, true.
No,
True.
bid'ah
No,
is more
bid'ah is
dangerous.
more dangerous than
Major sins.
Yes.
Major shirk. Sorry.
Okay.
No, sin.
Major
That's the
sins are
confusion,
more
yeah.
dangerous than bid'ah. Yeah, you have to understand that. Okay, which is the most feared shirk?
To go against Tawheed.
Huh? Out of the
The
categories,
minor shirk.
which
Minor shirk. Minor shirks are more
one? What is the
dangerous
name?
because
What
we don't
is
realize.
Uluhiyah.
no
Riya.
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 Yes,
Okay.
Riya. I want you to be very comfortable with this and very clear of this concept. Alhamdulillah, pretty good. You all did excellent, mashallah. So next we are going to go for the second fundamental of what is your deen, the religion. How much do you know of your religion?
Just one question.
Sure.
Just one question.
Sure.
Since we are here, people say do Fatiha. So is that coming under
Fatiha, as in what you're asking? Yani Surah Fatiha, what are you asking exactly?
No, people say let's do Fatiha.
What is Fatiha?
She's
Yani?
asking when somebody dies, people ask us, let's do Fatiha. Is it bid'ah or is it allowed?
See, anything that has a backing of Quran and Sunnah is permissible. Anything that does not have any backing of an authentic Sunnah. What is Fatiha? We only know that there is Surah Fatiha, but this Fatiha is a innovation. It's a clear innovation. Did any of our Sahabas, our Nabi, anybody did that? When people died, did they have this kind of congregation and Quran Khani and Fatiha and things like that? Did they recite 40 times Surah Yasin and all? If there is a backing,
Fatiha is something like, for example, whenever, in Arab culture, I have seen that whenever somebody dies, they give you a paper to recite few verses. That is also called Fatiha as well, because you are praying for the dead, deceased, for his body and for everything, and the dua, right? This also
when they give a news, so and so has passed away. Kindly
you recite these
recite the Fatiha.
Is there a reference? Is there a my question?
I'm asking you. My question is it because I've seen many
because
I'm not aware of it.
No, because whatever I have seen into what are the do's and don'ts when a person dies does not state anything of Fatiha. So I have absolutely no idea what it contains or what verses are you talking about or what dua we are making. Generally, a dua is done and that's it. I mean, the sawab-e-jariyah is from their own children praying for the astaghfar, doing astaghfar, and whatever the person who died has done the good deeds, he will get it. Yani the accounts have been closed except for the sawab-e-jariyah. So besides that, what this Fatiha comprises of, you have to be more clear. If you have
See,
that paper, we can share that.
there are some supplications for the deceased, right?
Correct.
Yeah. So in Arab culture, basically they do what? They give you the paper to recite those supplications. So this also comes under the heading of Fatiha because you are praying for the dead body.
Yeah,
So
of
there, I
course.
guess there are different stages of Fatiha, different types of Fatiha.
This is what exactly. See, we cannot see. For me to decide whether it is a bidah or not, have to see the paper. Maybe that paper contains dua which is from the Sunnah. So we don't know exactly what you're talking. You are saying there is a paper that they give. And Arab culture, I don't know this. We are not going to follow any culture, even though they are from the Arabic clan. But there is a mix-up of a lot of things, right? So we have to see that particular thing, what exactly it is. And once we see it, then only we can determine whether it is authentic, right, correct, wrong, bidah, whatever. Without seeing, we just cannot find a pass a verdict like that. So that's why I'm saying, if there is a paper that you have, you bring it. And since the terminology of Fatiha is used, this Fatiha word in India and Pakistan is used for something else as well. So that's why that Indian Pakistani thing is definitely refuted. It is bidah. But this, what you're talking here, I'm not sure unless we see the paper, what it contains. So if you have anything like that, then bring it. But if there is no evidence, then definitely it is shunned. We will not
there is
accept.
There is an application on Android as well as on iPhone as well.
Please share in the group now. Please share in the group. Let us see.
Yeah, وَإِيَّاكَ نَسْتَعِينُ.
Yeah, please share it. Inshallah,
Yeah.
we'll see how it is.
Okay.
Because it has to be seen and then we'll have to inshallah check it and then see for how it is. So yeah, that's about it, inshallah. Any further question? Can we continue, guys?
Sure.
Okay.
Yes, please.
Guys, mute. Wait, I'll mute all.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
Okay. I want to know what comes under categories of bidah. Okay. Just in the sense, for example, if there is a hadith that I find on WhatsApp and without verifying, if I forward it, okay, the bidah that I committed a bidah, do I consider it that way?
I mean, I lost you in between. Samin, can you come back again? Can you repeat?
Yeah. So if like on WhatsApp, you keep getting hadiths and then you forward it. So if I, without verifying, I have forwarded it, do I consider that I committed a bidah?
See, again, it is conditional. If you are sure about something, like something which is very clearly mentioned in Quran, you have a reference or from a hadith which is mentioned very clearly, you are sure, you have checked it, everything is fine and clear, go ahead. If not, please refrain.
Yeah.
But in fact, these days, I will tell you one thing, some of the things which will have a number as a Sahih Bukhari and all the references of verses will be given. But if by chance you go back and check, exactly. If you go back and check it, subhanAllah, it is not there or it is from some fabricated or weak hadith. So we have to be very careful what we are sharing. Out of the good feeling and good intention, we are thinking we are doing a good task, but sometimes that could be disastrous. Exactly. So we have to be very sure. That's why I keep saying that why knowledge is obligatory is because unless you don't have the knowledge, you will not be able to apply it and call people to it and then go ahead with it. But we, out of our ignorance, our simple and compound ignorance, we keep doing things. But there is a break. There is always, a stop to all these things. And we have to take this onus and we have to take this initiative. Be it one share in a week, but let it be authentic. Let it be authentic. Let's go and check, because subhanAllah, everything is documented in our religion, and subhanAllah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has taken the responsibility of preserving it. And we have people around who are mashallah knowledgeable and who are into this books and studies. So we can always go back and confirm and then go ahead. Because believe me, it's a major fitna these days. We don't know. It's very difficult to segregate. But subhanAllah, still we have resources where we can check and verify before applying and before spreading.
Yeah, because this is very applicable bidah for us
very
to do.
applicable, and in a day, maybe, may Allah protect us, it is happening.
Yes.
That's
It
why
is
knowledge,
happening.
yes, that's why knowledge gaining is a must and compulsory, obligatory. That's why I say that continuously keep on gaining knowledge, because that way you will be correcting yourself and others as well, inshallah.
Nasreen,
Yes, dear.
forwarding any message, let's suppose, or any hadith or any reference without any authentic reference, right? It's not a, I guess it's not a bid'ah, it will be a sin, because bid'ah is innovation. And forwarding a
See,
hadith or any reference as if hadith means that you are speaking on behalf on with the name of the prophet, which is a lie. And lie doesn't come under the heading of bid'ah. I guess it will be a sin instead of bid'ah.
see, again, we cannot, again, we are falling into we are diverting from our thing, is we cannot decide whether it is bidah or major sin or minor sin unless we see the content and the magnanimity of the content. We have to verify the content, what it is, where are we applying it, who is taking, who is picking it up. There is a chain of activity, and rather than falling into that trap of whether it is a bidah or a minor sin or a major sin, because till now we have not covered up those categories, we have to look into those categories as well. As of now, I would leave it on to you that unless you have evidences, clear evidences, don't share it. If you feel uncomfortable, if you feel something is not right, please check it, please go back to the books, please go back to the people who have better understanding. Because rather than passing verdicts left, right and center, we will again fall into the trap of becoming muftis, which I don't want to do right now. So let's go slowly and steadily, and don't get into that trap at all. Just go back to the basic books and think twice, check, and then go ahead with sharing and applying. Right? So
Yes.
we have only 5 minutes left, but I'll just tell you that we are going to start with the second fundamental of what is your deen. And inshallah, we'll be discussing more about how can we, and what are the basics, right from the Islam and Iman and Ihsan and the categories in it, and how can we affirm and negate. I mean, it's again something that we will be starting from the basic, but each and every pillar we are going to take in detail, inshallah. So yes, definitely we'll be sharing the notes in the group. And now that I'm recording the Zoom lectures also, I'll be sharing the link as well of the recording. So inshallah, we can see how we can use it and how we can share it and get maximum ajr. Inshallah, hopefully tomorrow, inshallah, we'll be able to complete the first part of it. And as per my schedule, we will be completing, inshallah, within this April month. Baki, if there is anything else, you all can message me. We are starting our detailed hadith tafsir on Wednesdays from 4 to 6 p.m. I'll be posting the details of that as well. As of now, we are starting on Wednesday. If time permits, we will increase the days. So whosoever can join us, please attend. It's very important. As I mentioned earlier, that Imam Nawawi's 40 hadith is so beautiful and so practical and so wonderful that if you learn about those hadith, inshallah, the application of all this in your life will become easier and your understanding will deepen a lot. So please try to attend. I know it becomes difficult with the family and stuff. May Allah put barakah in our time, but these are the opportunities that we can utilize in a better way, and may Allah accept all these efforts from people who are involved in this. Ya Rab. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم. And time to sign off. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك. جزاك الله خير, guys, and inshallah we'll meet tomorrow بإذن الله. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.